and he did a night passage in his trunks and maybe a tattered wetsuit. He landed on the beach in Imperial Beach and was promptly arrested and deported that night back to Tijuana.
You're listening to Radio Free Mike. Welcome to Radio Free Mike, the podcast about freedom and its discontents. My name is Michael Scott Moore, and today we're talking to Scott Hulet, author and longtime editor of the Surfer's Journal. Scott grew up in San Diego, and he's been traveling to Mexico for surf even longer than he's been committing those adventures to print, which at the Journal is the better part of 3 decades. His book, Violento, is an omnibus collection of his travel pieces. We talk not just about Baja and mainland Mexico, but also about other parts of Latin America, which Scott knows better than I do. Scott, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
So your new book, Violento, it's not that new, is an omnibus of a great deal of surf and also fishing writing. So a career of writing about the ocean. Tell me about the title.
That's actually the name of a reggaeton song from Puerto Rico about 15 years ago. I didn't know that when I learned the phrase in Cuba.
Got it.
But it speaks to surfing via the flow and style in surfing. It's a kind of similar to an urban saying, mad style.
Mad style, yeah, right. And where did you hear it in Cuba? I assume on a surf trip.
Yeah, I heard it for the first time in Havana with a friend who was checking out another friend who was haberdashed in a fine fashion, and kind of spilling out over the sides with style.
Yeah, right.
And I just, how things like that end up in your notes.
Yeah, exactly. That's hilarious. How was Cuba? I mean, I've been to Cuba too to surf.
I know you have.
Notes.
I've read Sweetness and Blood, of course.
Yeah.
How was it? I wasn't there for surfing. I was there to take notes and experience it. And I've been there a few times. I did interact with surfers. The surf resource in Havana is kind of threadbare, as you know, kind of limestone reefs and shore pound. Right. But I found that there are decent waves near Santiago, kind of in the wilderness west of there when there's a hurricane. Beyond that, I was there to fish, and that was really fun. And my fishing was kind of shore-based and artisanal. And rewarding. Yeah, I loved it there.
Yeah, I loved Cuba. What I realized when I was there was that the surf scene, since in a planned economy, they can't actually get surfboards locally made. They had to import all these parts through the black market from Florida. So materials and parts just to build their own surfboards or fix them up.
Sure.
And the best surfing I didn't get to, it was over on the east side because it gets away from the islands that block most of the surf to Cuba, but it's sort of wild in the Oriente part, and I would have loved to go there. Yeah. You haven't been there? You haven't been there?
No. I stayed in the Northwest.
Yeah. No. I mean, I love Cuba, and I want to go back.
Yeah. Great place.
Yeah.
Exquisite people.
Yeah, really. And there's one corner of Cuba with all these glass towers that gives you an indication of what Cuba would look like if American capital flows back in.
Varadero,
Varadero,
sure.
yeah. Oh, Varadero, but also in Havana, there's this cluster of hotels, and the rest of Havana is sort of decaying picturesquely, right? But these glass towers, they just look like Miami. It's a little bit boring.
Yeah.
Okay, and the first thing I wanted to talk about from your book is San Quintin in Baja, because I used to go down there. I don't know how many times I passed through San Quintin, not that often, but I used to surf in Baja when I was in college. And that was the spot where you would actually just stop to find stuff out, to learn about where you should go and that kind of thing. And according to your pieces in Flow Violento, the town has really changed in the meantime. You said that it started to change in about 1998.
Yeah, it kind of comes in surges. The vibe and the plaza change over the time. That passage that year on that trip
Mm-hmm.
had a decidedly different flavor, and there were some There was some rioting on a
Mm-hmm.
small scale, some anti-Jefe sentiment
Mm-hmm.
against Los Pinos and Driscoll's Berries, big
Mm-hmm.
employers there,
Against the
and
employers, yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I tried to relate some of that, I guess, in that
Yeah.
piece. But
And
it surges. Right now, it's really tranquil and good.
mm-hmm.
I'm down there regularly, and I have
Mm-hmm.
friends who live there and fish there. And yeah, it surges.
Oh, so it changed again. Okay, that's good to know. Because I used to go down to a
Yeah.
place called
But next
Shipwrecks.
week,
Next week you going? Oh, you might
I,
change again next week.
yeah, I'm going tomorrow. I'm driving to Cabo with
Got it.
Alex, my editor, tomorrow. Yeah.
Great. All right.
Yeah, Shipwrecks, I know it well. Rincon de Baja. Yeah.
Yeah, the northern shipwrecks. I never got to the southern one. There are two of them, I guess.
Yeah, the one you refer to, we used to call Rincon de Baja.
Rincon de Baja. Yeah, I don't know how we discovered it,
Yeah.
but once we did, we kept going down, and it was fun. There was nothing there at the time. I mean, you drove out
Yeah.
to where the ship was lying in the water, and there was nothing but
Yeah.
washboarded
The
mud.
Isla de Carmen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you also wrote about the Marias, the islands off mainland Mexico, just below the tip of Baja, and that was really interesting to me. Partly because I love, I mean, your piece about it made reference to it, but I love the film The Long Night of the Iguana, based on the Tennessee Williams play. And you start with a quote from John Huston, but you center on this, the main island, the Madre Isla Maria, that has an old prison on it. And Huston knew the prison, and not that he'd been in there, but tell me about it. I mean, it's a very attractive place for both fishermen and surfers, but it's dangerous to go to.
It is, I guess. You have a rare occasion to actually land on the island when you're going, because you're kind of dodging the Navy.
Yeah.
At the time I was there, now it's legal-ish. It's protected as part of the Biosphere Reserve, but they have designs on hoteling out there, and that's already happening. They're trying to run a kind of rapid cruises from Mazatlan to the island. So it's changing. When I was there, yeah, you had the radar on always, and the second captain was watching for blips. And if he saw movement, we had to pull anchor and leave.
Just in case it was the Navy.
It would be.
It would be.
It would be. Yeah.
Wow.
And that means, extortion, propinas.
If not prison time, yeah.
It could be. Yeah. You try not to test that. But anecdotally, they do tow your boat to the prison dock, and they'll sweat you there. And if you're lucky, it's a fine.
Right. If you're lucky. Yeah. Well, but describe the island to me, because you've been there both to surf and to fish, I think.
Yeah. All three. Yeah. I've been there 3 times, and primarily to the wave called Hammerheads, which is a right reef point, and it's exotic and in the best sense, very jungly, very alive, crystal clear water. No mainland runoff of any sort, obviously, and there's no agriculture to speak of, so the water is pure. And the wave resource is excellent. The fishing is outrageous.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I went to land in a dinghy and hung out and walked around. And it's very like I imagine the Galapagos to be, because the fauna is absolutely unafraid of you. It has no experience with humanity. Yeah. So the birds walk right up to your feet. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. And when did the prison close?
Oh, that's a fair question. I can give you a round number. I think it closed about a dozen years ago.
Yeah, right. And in the meantime, they've, like you said, they've put in sort of a biosphere, kind of a protected area, and somebody runs tours. I don't know if it's the government or a private company, but somebody runs a tour where you can stay there for a few nights or something like that. But I don't know if you can surf. Do they allow you to surf?
No, that area, the Madre Island, no, Cleophas. Has the wave, and you're not allowed to land there or surf.
Right.
But it gets surfed. You know, the locals from Sayulita and Punta de Mita blast out there in pongas. You know, they have it
from the mainland. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it still sounds very controlled, partly because nobody wants it to stop being wild, but at the same time, there's a lot. There's a lot there. I mean, it sounds so interesting. I since I love the film, I would love to go down there. I haven't been to Puerto Vallarta, but
oh yeah, you should definitely go. You can see the ruins of the Night of the Iguana set still.
Oh really?
Yeah. As a fan of that movie, and I am too, obviously. Have you seen the little documentary about the making of?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
I'm going to have to look it up.
Oh my God, it's splendid.
Yeah.
You'll love it. It's John Huston out. It's the best.
Right. Yeah, that era, he made it, or it came out in 1960, so it's essentially the 50s. And that era, the idea of Mexico was different from our idea of Mexico now. There was a real romance about Mexico, and because it was still there was still a lot more hope, I think, not just politically, but also socially. It feels like there was Tennessee Williams certainly had a romance with Mexico because it was more wild than the United States, and the people were kind, and that part hasn't changed, but there was less fear. And when I think about it, it was really not that long after the Mexican Revolution in the 1950s. It was only a couple of, a few decades. So I feel like there was still a little bit more hope in Mexico as a whole.
That could be. My grandfather loved that area, and he would travel in the late 50s and 60s to a town called San Blas in Nayarit, just north of there. He wasn't a surfer, but it turns out the world's longest right used to be there. It's changed after a hurricane. But he felt plenty safe taking my grandma on the bus from Mexicali all the way down to Nayarit. But still, safe is, it's a moving target.
It's a
Mexico is Mexico is blood and sand, and always has been. There's always an undercurrent of it's the Wild West still, in the good and bad sense.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to have to take a look. I'm sorry to interrupt, but this has been a free preview of this episode. And the whole thing is open to paid subscribers to Radio Free Mike. So if you'd like to hear the rest, please hit the link in your show notes or in the body of the email we've sent you and upgrade your subscription over at Substack. Then you'll be able to listen to the full episode on any platform. Thanks for listening.